Soneium is now live. Yes, this is the blockchain made by Sony, and there was already a rug pull by the Soneium blockchain. Well, not exactly. That's just a cliffhanger, and we'll get into that later in this video. So we're going to talk about Soneium, what they're doing, what they're building, what's gaining the most traction, and some of the opportunities and challenges they're going to face along their journey. All right, well, that's what we're going to talk about. I'm Dan, and let's get this journey started. Soneium. Now, Soneium is a layer 2 blockchain produced by Sony. Sony, the large corporation, and they are getting into cryptocurrency. Now, Soneium is built using the OP stack that is by Optimism, so they're not necessarily building their own blockchain from scratch, they're using existing technology. And what makes it interesting is that Optimism is part of the superchain. Now, the superchain is a network of chains that share bridging, decentralized governance, upgrades, a communication layer, and more. So it's going to feel like one seamless blockchain rather than multiple blockchains. And this is important because there are a lot of layer 2 blockchains built on the OP stack. So that means all of these chains are going to be interoperable with each other, and it's just going to feel like you're using one blockchain. Technical jargon aside, that just means Sony is building with Optimism, the OP stack. They are an established blockchain company, and they are going to be interoperable with the other blockchains that are also using the OP stack. All right, I used a lot of technical jargon again. Basically, Sony blockchain compatible with other chains, making it a much larger ecosystem. Yeah, that sounds good. And the Soneium testnet just ended. The mainnet is now live. It is available for anyone to use. And during the testnet, they had some big numbers, 14 million active wallets, 47 million transactions, and that sounds like a lot of people are airdrop farming. Maybe another video soon on Soneium airdrops. This video is brought to you by Solana ID, and they provide a lot of perks. Basically, you get airdrops on Solana, as well as other perks that help you earn even more airdrops. And some of them, you just have to connect your wallet and claim, and you got an airdrop. That just means free tokens, and right now they're doing their pre-season airdrop. You might be eligible if you are a priority pass holder, token holder, or NFT holder of one of their partners. For more info, I'll leave a link in the description. So as for what's being built, they've built over 50 diverse apps, and we can take a look at the Soneium ecosystem. We'd probably want to check out the consumer-only products because that's what we can use. Infrastructure really not for us. We want to look at consumer products. Now, they do have a lot here, but probably what's most notable are their incubation winners. So I think thousands of projects applied to be a part of Soneium Spark, and they have a select few that they want to endorse and help build for the Sony ecosystem. So you have projects in DeFi, you have Web3 experiences, alias Blockrot, something I'm invested in, a couple other games, and more. So there is a lot to look at. If you were looking at the Soneium ecosystem for DeFi, again, they just went live. There's only 4 million of TVL in their DeFi ecosystem. Most of that is in Kyo Finance if you want to check it out. Now, there is news on the Sony side too. The Sony Group Corporation introduced the fan marketing platform SNFT Incorporated, probably means Sony NFT. It's a marketing tool for creators, brands, and enterprises that utilizes NFT minting and is now integrated with Soneium. There's going to be perks tied to various IPs, brands, to fans through multiple methods, and it's going to help with detailed data analysis, marketing strategies, while offering tangible value to fans and brands alike. And they also have S-Blocks, so I'm guessing Sony Blocks or Sony Blockchain Incorporated, the crypto asset exchange service, which will focus on unlocking new potential for creators and brands, driving innovation across the ecosystem. Now, Sony is still getting started, and I haven't took a look at all the dApps yet, so let me know in the comments, what are your favorites? The Sony token. There isn't one. There isn't a token on the Soneium blockchain. There is no news about a Sony token, at least not yet, so don't buy anything. Just be very careful unless there is an official announcement from the Soneium or Soneium Twitter accounts. Now, if you are going to bridge to Soneium, that is available from Ethereum as well as other Optimism-based blockchains and a few more. and you'll be able to bridge over ETH into the Soneium blockchain. Now you're going to need Ethereum if you are going to do any transaction on Soneium. So if you're going to do any DeFi stuff, that's what you're going to need to get started. Now again, things are still at its early stages, and since there are rewards and not a lot of people using it, the APRs can be very high until more money starts flowing in and those rewards are distributed to other people. So it is an opportunity to be early and participate in these pools just because there isn't a lot of liquidity on the few dexes that are available. So you're going to have some high rewards from the trading volume, as well as some other potential rewards from points programs and other things like that. Again, probably a lot of technical jargon, but if you are a heavy DeFi user and you don't want to take on too much risk, there are opportunities to provide liquidity, that is locking up your assets to facilitate trading and being rewarded for that. As for platforms I'm using on Soneium, I'm only using Yayspace, and I don't even have an account, but they have a staking platform, and it is a small amount. I just wanted to gain some points for Soneium, and Yayspace is a social media platform that is popular mostly in Japan, but you can write things in English, and people even say, please talk English, or let's talk English, please talk with me. So yeah, if you want to interact with people that want to learn English and you speak English, there you go. Chat on Yayspace. Now, you will be able to stake your ETH here, and that's either through Stakestone, Kelp, or Astar. Right now, the Soneium ETH isn't yet available. I think that's going to happen soon. I haven't been shilling this referral link, but I will in this video. If you want to get started with Yayspace staking, I think you are going to get a small bonus for using my referral link. The Sony rug. So rug just means theft or lost access to certain assets. And let's go over this. So Kaz wrote, Soneium rugged users for over $100,000 in ETH on launch day. I've never seen anything like it. Want to be a permissioned chain? Fine. Instead of whitelisting developers, they chose to instead freeze contracts, effectively rugging users. So this comes down to the meme coin PS2 being banned. The contract isn't tradable on the layer 2 blockchain, but it kind of is in an indirect way. And the issue came down to copyright protection. They don't want people to think they're actually buying something that is endorsed by Sony, because the PS2 is trademarked by the Sony Corporation. And that's why people are saying Soneium is literally a Fed chain. They can freeze any asset they want, and it goes into the IP and contracts restrictions. So at Soneium, we are committed to fostering a secure and respectful ecosystem for all stakeholders, while safeguarding intellectual property rights, protecting users from malicious activities. So this restriction is to protect IP, to prevent risk to users, and to build a healthy ecosystem, which I am okay with. We'll get into later in this video, because if you want decentralization, there are a lot of blockchains for this. They're looking for a more sheltered user experience where people know what they're getting into, and they're removing the risky stuff. And, you know, there are a lot of risky projects in crypto, a lot of scams, a lot of very unsavory names used for certain projects, as in that is what they named the project. And if you are a business, you don't want your customers to see that. You want a more sheltered experience. Now, it is a blockchain and you can still do whatever you want. There are ways around that. It's just not the best experience for people, and I don't really expect anyone to start writing their own contracts and writing their own transaction call data. So that is way too advanced for most people, and if you're looking for meme coin trading and that stuff, you really have to go to either Base or Solana. That's just where all the activity is right now. And when it comes to meme coins, you want to go where the highest trading volume is, and it happens to be on those chains. Now, Soneium is doing something different. They are protecting users, they are protecting intellectual property rights, and I think this is going to create a better user experience. It's a better experience for businesses building on there, just because they know what to expect, rather than the wild west of decentralization that we are experiencing on other blockchains. So if you want decentralization, there are a lot of different opportunities. If you want centralization and a more predictable experience, that's Soneium. And that could be a good thing for onboarding new users, for bringing on businesses, for building more projects. Now, there are some pros and cons to this when it comes to growing a blockchain. When you get started, there's nothing, and the only people using a blockchain are the degens, the degenerates that want to gamble on the earliest coins, they want to gamble on meme coins, they bring transaction volume, they bring transactions, and they bring their friends. Now, if you don't have degens on a blockchain, that makes it a lot harder to grow. But this is Sony, this is Soneium, and they have that name. So that's still going to bring in a lot of users, but it just might not have as much activity. And that could create its own challenges until you have more projects that are consumer ready. But that's just my thoughts. I'm going to continue watching Soneium. Not much for me to do right there this early, but I'm still looking into it. If there's any projects you recommend that you love, leave them in the comments. I'll check them out, even if it's not Sony related, or mention it in the Retail DAO Discord or retail community. And yeah, we'll take a look. So if this video was helpful, you know what to do. And with that, I hope you got your full value for today.